Citizen Kane, but even critics have claimed that it was shit in its day. Some films are shit and shit they will stay, but some get better over time because of Nicolas Cage. So which film stays shit forever? And which one's got a little bit better? Second chance movies. No poor bloods were harmed in the making of this podcast.
Welcome to Second Chance Movies, the podcast where we rewatch movies and decide if they deserve a second chance.
I'm Joe Harper, your host who loves rewatching movies, and I actively avoid answering phone calls.
And I'm Jessica Kwazz, your host who's a one and done kind of movie viewer who used to think the Razor phones were the coolest thing. And today we are giving a second chance to Phonebooth.
Do you guys remember Phonebooth? You know what? I want everyone to remember this movie.
Yeah. And I was especially really interested in revisiting this movie because, as you could tell by the title, the movie takes place in a phone booth. And I was very curious if a piece of dead technology could still carry the interest and intrigue and suspense the movie did when phone booths were way more common.
Well, I mean, the movie was made on the end of phone booths. Phone booths were leaving our lives forever. There are probably kids out here now that don't know what a phone booth is. All right, so first off, spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about phone booth, guys. We're going to spoil the hell out of this movie.
Yeah, it's 20 years too late, guys. Sorry.
So for those of you who forgot or don't even know what phone booth was, I'm going to read IMDb's summary of phone booth so we can go down memory lane. Publicist Stuart Shepard finds himself trapped in a phone booth, pinned down by an extortionist sniper rifle. Unable to leave or receive outside help, Stuart's negotiation with the caller leads to a jaw-dropping climax. Why would you tell us that in a description?
Yeah, don't give that all away.
This is a really bad description of this movie.
It was a really, really bad description of this movie.
I've got a better summary for us.
Okay.
A New York douchebag is forced to play mind games in a phone booth, being held hostage by a mysterious sniper. What was your first time with this movie, Jessica? It was 20 years ago?
It was about 20 years ago, probably a little less than that. It's interesting because my Nana, who listens to our podcast, shout out, Nana, hello.
Thank you, Nana.
She actually was the one that showed me this movie. She knew I really liked thrillers. So she was like, I liked this movie. I think you'd be interested in watching it. Like, let's watch it together. And so, yeah, we watched it together. Maybe, I don't know if it was 2002, like maybe shortly after it came out or a year or so. I don't know. But I remember watching it with her and being like, whoa, yeah, this is wild. This is a wild ride. And I thought it was really intense and I liked it.
Yeah, my grandparents would never have introduced this to me, and I would never introduce this to them. I don't think they could handle it. Anything made after 1960 was just not for them. All right, so my first time with it though, it had to have been in the theater. I think I saw the trailer and I was like, he's stuck in a phone booth? This is awesome. And at the time, I didn't know who Colin Farrell was, so even better. And I just loved this movie. I fell in love with it so much. I know I bought it on DVD. I watched the hell out of it. I don't know why I watched it so. I probably watched it so much because it was so short. I could watch it so many times. Oh man, I watched this one way more than I should have probably, but I like it. It's fun.
I'd had only seen it once since around the time it came out. And so I thought it would be, again, really interesting to see what it's like now, just simply because, like, is it still compelling to be in a phone booth in 2021?
Yeah, I can see that smile on your face. I know you're ready for some reviews.
Let's get into some reviews. Let's see what the people had to say. Well, as always, we like to start off on a positive note. So let's get into some positive reviews.
Daniel M. Kimmel of Worcester Telegram and Gazette. Phonebooth is a much better movie than it has any right to be, given its absurd premise. He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. All right. David Faucher from Edge Boston wrote, Joel Schumacher's latest film is a thrilling, suspenseful 90 minutes, and it's great entertainment.
I can't stress how much that under 90 minutes was.
It rules.
It was so great.
Rules. Also, like, it blows my mind that this is a Joel Schumacher movie.
I think we all know him from Batman Forever and Batman and Robin.
Truly.
And how ridiculously goofy those movies are. But like, he's a director that's like, he's got some hits.
He does. He's got some hits, but like for me, what I find really interesting is like while he's got some hits, a lot of his movies are like very campy and very zany.
Yeah.
Not what you would think of like a one location suspense kind of movie. So for me, that still blows my mind that he's the director on it. It just I don't it doesn't compute. But hey, he did a good job on this.
Michael Compton of Bowling Green Daily News. Recalling some of the great Alfred Hitchcock films, Phonebooth takes a simple premise and grabs the audience by the throat. Yikes.
Oh.
I don't know how much throat grabbing this movie had.
Yeah, I mean, it does kind of suck you in, but I didn't feel like it was choking me to death while doing so.
Fun fact when looking up some fun facts in this movie. Screenwriter Larry Cohen originally pitched the concept of a film that takes place entirely within a phone booth to Alfred Hitchcock in the 1960s.
Whoa. That's fascinating.
That's how long this idea came to be.
Wow.
Hitchcock liked the idea, but he and Cohen were unable to figure out a plot reason for keeping the film confined to a booth. Once the idea of a sniper came to Cohen in the late 1990s, he was able to write the script in under a month.
Whoa, that's incredible. That just goes to show if you've got a dream and a project, keep going, man, because one day you'll make a fucking good movie. Sharon J. Harvey from Sunday Times Australia wrote, to use phone language, it doesn't put you on hold for 1 second.
Puns. I feel like she could have done better.
John J. Piculo from Movie Metropolis wrote, Phonebooth is a great call.
Wow, these guys are not great with these phone puns.
They're really trying. They really, really are.
Hey, you should dial in to see this movie.
So, just to keep on the Schumacher shit train.
Oh, good.
My first negative review comes from Sean P. Means of Salt Lake City Tribune.
Means like he's going to be mean?
He's going to be mean. Like most Schumacher movies, Phonebooth rings loudly, but is disconnected from the real world.
Oh, see, that was a really good pun, so I can't really...
It was a good pun.
That was better than the positive puns.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not disconnected from this movie. I'm dialing in.
I'm dialed all the way up, dialed in.
Joel Siegel of Good Morning America. The script reads like it was phoned in. Why doesn't Farrell use his cell phone? We're offered a lame excuse. You're not offered a lame excuse. There's a fucking sniper. That's not a lame excuse.
That's not a lame excuse. Like, a sniper might murder you if you use your cell phone.
Hey, dude, don't answer your phone or I'll fucking shoot you.
I see you. I have a sniper on you, bitch. Don't answer. Robert Walensky from the Dallas Observer wrote, the movie's so hung up on its gimmick, it never transcends.
Oh,
the negatives are getting the puns. They really are.
They understand what puns are.
So this is one that's very of the time. Bob Longlino from the Atlantic Journal Constitution wrote, not only lacks the thrills and drama one might hope, it's not even half as terrifying as those Carrot Top commercials for AT&T.
What did he do to anybody?
Right? Why are you bringing Carrot Top who's just trying to make money in on this?
I'm excited about this one. You know who it is. It's one of our favorite professional reviewers.
Is it now?
It's No Minnow.
She wrote about this movie. What's she gotta say? What's our girl gotta say about Phonebooth?
No Minnow of Common Sense Media. It's one of those ones I can't say because I'm gonna laugh every time. I have to get a straight face somehow.
Okay, act your way through it.
I'm also trying to get into Nell character. This movie doesn't make sense on any level.
No.
Oh,
what?
I don't agree with her, but I love that. I love this. I love this comment.
I love the simplicity of just. I don't get it.
This movie did not work for Nell, and that's fine.
That's fine. It didn't have to. No offense, Nell. Love you, girl. I think it's like a really easy concept to understand, but okay.
But I'm on her side because, like, what the fuck is a sniper doing? Like, what? Who's he picking? Why? He's not making the world a better place doing this.
Not at this moment. No, he surely is not.
But hey, you know what? We'll get into it right now.
Let's talk about our second chance with Phonebooth.
All right. Okay, so let's get into just what is happening in this movie.
Of course.
Okay, so douchebag New York guy Stu is an agent for many people for many things. One is a little quick Ben Foster cameo. He's like a rapper, like one of those punk man, like he's freaking out in a limo or something. Just a little whiner. Just like, man, he's trying to like navigate all these people, and we're kind of seeing how much of a douchebag he is, how little he cares, just like using all these pawns and stuff. And then he gets he goes in the phone booth every day because he is using that to call his girlfriend, who is not his wife. So because the cell phone would track those calls, him making to his girl. So yeah, and then Sniper calls the payphone and is like, "Hey, I know what you did. What, you're gonna stay here until you realize what you did and you atone for what you've done." Okay, man, you're just a weird sniper guy. You're not the morally right guy in this situation.
No. So what's strange is, first of all, we learn like way too quickly that this sniper believes that he's some sort of vigilante who is like who's using phones to distract and then murder the morally corrupt of the city, if you will. The two previous people that he has killed that we know of, one was a pedophile and the other was like some guy who scammed a ton of money out from innocent people. So like, okay, that's kind of interesting, like taking out like really terrible guys who aren't gonna get like correct justice. But with Colin Farrell's character Stu, like, yeah, he's kind of a dick and like a douchebag, but like he's not saying adultery's like cool, but he's just like, his big thing is that he's banging someone other than his wife.
He's just having an affair with the woman, and he's having an affair with Katie Holmes.
Yeah. Which is like, this is one of her first movies past Dawson's Creek. She was trying to be a movie star, but like, so to me, to find the whole vigilante aspect of it compelling, he would need to be doing something like even more horrific, like maybe him going into the phone booth around the same time every day to call his mistress is a way for Sniper Guy to know where he's at a particular time. But then there's got to be more to it, because then that becomes a morality issue of like, he's cheating on his wife, which is shitty, but it's nowhere near the level of abusing children and like scamming people out of a lot of money.
The other
Isn't
two are
destroying
affecting the
lives.
lives of multiple people.
So yeah, that was one thing where like I like this premise. I like this premise of like someone having to face their issues, the things that they've done to harm people. But what Stu has done is just not enough for me to be like, yeah, like hold this guy to the flames, make him answer for his shit, play mind
Yeah.
games with him. So we need a little more, and I get like maybe they were hesitant to make him a terrible guy because he is supposed to be like our hero. But like we were saying, like I didn't
Yeah,
care
we
about
have to
him.
feel for him.
In
Yeah.
some way, we do have to root for him, but like I don't like him already. So if we make him like bad more, okay, I'd be
I think
more
that the movie
curious.
already put itself in a corner, making two people the leads that we don't really like.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
only person we can root for is Forrest Whitaker, who shows up as the captain, who's just trying to be a nice guy and like do his job correctly. And like, hey, I don't want anyone hurt, so like, I need you to come out of the booth. Like, I can't come out of the booth. Well, you gotta, because we're the police. But we gotta do this everything safely. So if you need your time, hey, as long as you're just talking, let's
Mm-hmm.
talk.
Yeah.
Ugh.
At some point, the sniper actually does shoot somebody, and so
To
the
prove
police,
that he has a gun.
to prove that he has a gun, the police come, think that Colin Farrell might be the one with the weapon. They're confused why he's staying in his phone booth. So Forrest Whitaker, like you said, is the captain, comes in. He's like, hey, I'm going to work this out. For some reason, it really bothered me that Stu was like super fucking hostile to the police, like right away. And I was like, dude, like, don't do that. They already think you're bad. Like, be nice to them. Like, try to explain what's happening maybe, but like don't yell at them. So that was one thing. I see, I already don't like Stu, make him even worse. Who fucking cares? One thing I did really like about this movie though is that there was this chaotic energy to it from the minute it started to the minute it ended. And I found that so compelling because the whole feeling for Colin Farrell's character is chaos. And so right away when the movie's open, we're seeing Stu like juggling his multiple
I'm
clients.
gonna I'm gonna correct you just slightly. The
Mhm.
movie opens with a very weird voiceover exposition about explaining what like cell phones and phone booths are, and
Yeah,
I hate it. I
that
was like,
was fucking bizarre as hell.
what are we doing?
Bizarre. That was so strange. And there's these weird like these graphics and like
Just get to Colin Farrell.
just yeah,
What are we
why do
doing?
we it was like we know what phones are at this point.
But we so okay, but to make this movie timeless, you because like kids today, what the hell is that? Why would you go into that glass booth? What is going on?
That's true. Okay,
It
sure.
might need this explanation for the future.
And like this weird ass voiceover talking about phones, like literally after the voiceover is ending, says like, and this phone booth is about to be torn down. Meet its last occupant of it. And then it cuts to Stu, and it's like,
But what's weird is it's not Kiefer Sutherland, and
no,
we never hear that voice again.
we
And
never hear that voice again.
why did we have this person? Why did you guys pay this guy to say this line?
It was such a weird choice. And like so right when the movie started and it was that, I was like, oh, I'm not, this is outdated as hell. I am not going to enjoy this. It's interesting too, because it almost reminded me of the energy of like a Sadfi Brothers movie, like a
Okay.
Uncut Gems energy where it's like chaos and like tension.
Do you think the Safdie brothers have seen Phone Booth?
I would love to know that. I would
wanna know.
love to know that.
Hey, Safdie brothers, if for some reason you find our podcast,
If you're
listen,
fans of the show.
if anyone knows the Safdie brothers, I'd love to hear only their thoughts on Phone Booth. I don't really care what other movies they've watched.
No, I'm just
But
very
Phone Booth.
curious.
Back to the sniper. He actually does not have a name. He's the caller.
Oh, ominous.
He kills two people in this movie. One is just a poor little delivery guy who
Oh yeah.
just delivers the message or just delivers him some food. Just some pizza at the beginning because he's whatever. Anyway, he gets his throat slit, and then he shoots the pimp, and I just think the pimp's not doing anything bad. He's just kind of like getting kind of violent, like, hey, get the fuck out of this phone booth. I just don't see how the color is, this high morality when he just murders two people in this day.
The shooting of the pimp to me, well, is unnecessary. Also shows to me like he's unhinged. He will shoot. He doesn't give a shit. The pizza delivery guy, that that was done to set him up sort of, but like that also is like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. But all this could have been like understood-ish because he's our villain if he wasn't on this like weird moral high ground of like, I'm doing this because I'm trying to make people better. It's like, okay, well then maybe somehow he knew like the pimp was actually trafficking the prostitutes or something, so that it was like, see, I shot him, but it doesn't, he was also a really bad dude. Or the pizza delivery guy was also secretly a bad dude doing something shady.
He jerks off into people's pizzas. He had to be stopped.
He had to be stopped. He's a monster. I do want to say though, I think that Colin Farrell's acting is still really good in this movie. And the fact that he was also acting essentially against no one, because when they're filming it, he's probably just on a phone and someone is reading the lines to him,
That is incorrect.
Oh, okay, you got a fun fact.
The phone actually worked, and there was someone on the other line talking to Colin Farrell, speaking as the caller.
Okay.
But Kiefer Sutherland's voice was added in during post-production.
Okay.
They have listed a few people that were like cast before Sutherland, but then they're like, oh wait, we can get Sutherland? Okay. Bye, you're out. Kiefer's in.
Okay, but still, like, I would find it to be more difficult to do that kind of acting performance when you're not doing it face to face with someone. When you're doing it on a phone call, even then would still be like, I would think really tough to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a high concept, wild movie, but I think that the performance is so strong that it's like makes it believable. Like, I believe that this dude is fucking confused and terrified and is trying to get out of this but doesn't know how. Like, so A+ Colin Farrell, good job on that part. Phonebooth is a movie. And Joe, how do you think that movie holds up in 2021? Do you think it deserves a second chance?
I think it deserves its second chance. I think it's a movie that I think it stands the test of times. It's still like a decent thriller that keeps me on like the edge of my seat. I feel like if you're a new audience member that hasn't seen it, you'll be on the edge of your seat, like, oh shit, what's gonna happen next? And even me not seeing it for a while, I'm still like hooked into the drama and the suspense of like this, guy in a phone booth that's pinned down. I'm just reading off the IMDb thing. But the sniper's just like, talking through him. It's just like a conversation between two guys that's kind of interrupted by police, and it's intense. It's tense at moments. Yeah. I still think it holds up as a solid thriller. Would I make changes to it? Probably, but I don't care. I think that what we get is great. I do think this movie deserves a second chance, and hell, maybe a sequel.
I agree with you on this one. I say give it a second chance. If you haven't seen it in a while, you should definitely rewatch it. It holds up a lot better than you would expect it to. And the, technology being outdated doesn't affect how intriguing the movie is. But I think it is incredibly thrilling for it to be in, such a confined space. I got really sucked into it and was in this ride until the end. So yeah, I thought it surprisingly held up very well, and I would say absolutely watch it again. You'll enjoy it a lot more than you think you would.
Good job, Phonebooth.
Good job, Phonebooth. Good job, Colin Farrell. Good job, screenwriter that waited decades to make it happen.
Shout out to Joel Schumacher.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening to another episode of Second Chance Movies. As always, you can find us wherever you listen to podcasts. We're also on YouTube if you want a visual of each episode. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram. We're on Letterboxd. Everything on social media will be linked down in the show notes if you want to follow us and continue the conversation after this episode. Let us know what you think. Let us know if there's a movie that you want us to give a second chance to. We would love to do it. As always, thank you to Beaty McBeatface for our theme song. And yeah, we'll be back next week with another second chance movie.
Second chance.